welcome to the Liverpool Community Podcast. I'm your host, Chase Johnson Lynch, and once again, I'm here joined by an old friend from the past. That doesn't mean that she's old, she's just an old friend from the past. Look at that, she's already smiling, that's great. And I'm joined here by Anne-Marie Mayers. How you doing, Anne-Marie? How you doing?
Good, Chase. Yeah, you redeemed yourself well there, love.
I know. Listen.
We are a little bit older. It's been 6 years. We figured out.
We are of the older generation, but see, what's great is that our history between us is that we go back, two offices back when it was the beginning of podcasting for us here at Big Condo and everything like that. And you were a part of the original gang.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and we were trying to remember, like an old married couple, we were trying to remember, so where did we meet? I mean, was it in the park? No, it wasn't in the park. Was it in the pool?
Neither of us can remember.
We couldn't really remember.
Clue how we actually met.
Exactly, and you said it's menopausal, but it's not. We did figure, though, that back in the day, for those who are old-time fans, we used to be Condo Online, whatever, back then, and we had a series of different programs, a magic program, a psychic program, and I believe you were a guest on one of our psychic shows with our host, John Durant. Shout out to John Durant, who hosted The Train. And everything, and I believe you came in to talk on his show about what you do. Well, no, I believe it's true because you actually, we're going to get into it. You actually have an academy called the Soul Awakening Academy, where you do life coaching, and you do a lot more than that and all that. But that's, I believe, how John knew you and brought you in onto his show.
Potentially, yeah.
Or maybe because you had the word soul in it, and he probably thought that, it's got something to do with psychics.
Yeah, wherever it did, it led to me coming over once a week, maybe.
Well, that's only because I thought, hey, I think she needs to come back.
Yeah, but we did, didn't we? We did a few together. It was really nice, and we talked about different things. And we were saying before, laughing. One of them was love languages. We were getting into it before about relationships.
Which I decided to make a show.
Life relationships.
Decided to make a show called Love Language. I figured if anybody can host a show with me, it would be you, Anne-Marie, and everything. And we could talk about love and relationships. And I think we ran out of stuff to talk about after about 2 shows.
We did. We got into it, and we were talking about relationship attachment. No, were we? Well, we were talking about that before. I was analysing you, wasn't I, about your relationship attachment style. Yeah,
exactly. That's like, we figured we'd get into that a little bit. Anne-Marie, we were just only trying to play catch up, and then, obviously, because of your skill as a counseling and life coaching, I couldn't help but open up and everything. And you said, that sounds like emotional avoidance. Started writing that down. What does that mean, emotionally avoiding and a relationship attachment? What does that mean?
You'll fill your boots on podcast this weekend, won't you?
Well, yeah, but help us help them. I mean, what is being avoiding emotionally?
Well, I only know this because I go through my own journey with relationships, and we're talking about trauma in childhood and things like that. It's normally where you form an attachment style. So it's an attachment style to your main caregiver, who you're depending on, obviously, for your life. And beyond your physical needs getting met, your emotional needs need to be met as well.
Yeah, because, I thought it would be interesting because it's basically, when you're talking about relationships, people get stuck in their ways, don't they? I'm not going to say men get stuck in their ways, but obviously,
we do all get
you get used to
routine, habits, safe zones.
Safe zones. So like basically, when you're in a long-term relationship, it's like, do you quickly jump into the next relationship that's either going to be a long-term relationship, or do you want some breathing space? And I think a lot of guys want some breathing space. What do you think women want in that kind of scenario?
I think it's healthy to have breathing space, but it's really actually hard to take the breathing space.
Is it because of loneliness, or?
I think it's because of your internal emotion reactions you automatically want to soothe them down and calm them down. And the way you do that is by distracting yourself, trying to find the next dopamine hit with the next person who, you know, will show you affection, maybe give you boost you back up. So what you're missing from your ex-partner, you know, we naturally have a tendency, unless we're really emotionally mature, and this is not me,
not me either,
have a natural tendency to want to fill the void. And that can look like being distracted by going into a new relationship really quickly, but that no way means you're going to fall in love with that next person or really hold that in much meaning, because behind the scenes inside you're really probably still thinking about the ex-person and trying to process the loss of it as well.
And you have that attachment, you know. I mean, because it's being in a relationship is the intimacy of it all. You know, you have that attachment, and you don't think about, oh, I can easily just go attach myself to someone else.
It's not easy to do that anyway. It's not easy to form deep, meaningful attachments, which is normally what people are seeking. There are different levels, aren't there? You know, you can become attached to a person for so many different reasons, but ultimately, is that going to be fulfilling 6 months, a year down the line, you know?
And I think that's what, like, you know, was happening to me, because, like, me, on the one hand is that, you know, I think, you know, I can only speak of myself, you know, but I think you start to enjoy those quiet moments. You know, it's like, I mean, I felt like, I mean, at times I was spending a lot of time in the bathroom reading or avoiding, you know, which is why when you said emotional avoidance, I said, you know, or I like watching television, but I like watching television by myself.
I think,
you know,
personally, it's about reflecting on you and who you were in that relationship, and the lack of communication around your needs. That's probably all that was needed was communication around, I need this, and it's of no way saying. But
don't you wouldn't the person feel bad about trying to tell their partner, I need space? I mean, like, what is the best way you can do that? Because, I mean, would you agree? I mean, 24/7. You know, I mean, sometimes relationships, you know, you start to look at it like that, 24/7. No, I need some space. How do I ask for space without them getting offended that I want space?
Because it's the way that you communicate. And if you set it up in the beginning, when you enter a relationship and figure out what type of communicators are we, how can I deliver this to this person so it doesn't offend or seem as it's rejecting, then it actually builds a stronger bond, because there was probably needs that she had that kept to herself that she really wanted to get met. But if there's no open channel of communication, you're both just in your head, resentment sets in, you think,
there we go,
F this for a game of soldiers, I'm better alone. And
there
actually,
you go.
You know, I'd question.
And then you're not, most of the time you're not, you react and you think that and everything, and you spoil something that could have been good. But, you know, those things come into play. I think that's why it's a good conversation, because it's a way of, like, how can I stop myself from doing damage where I didn't need to do that? I didn't need to set fire to the house. You know what I mean? Just to get warm.
I think you're such a nice, kind, caring guy that the thought of offending somebody or upsetting somebody would really hurt you.
Oh no, definitely. But it's I think it was just that thing of.
But that's why you don't set a personal boundary.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do, like 6 months or a year into a relationship. Suddenly start to assert yourself, set personal boundaries. Unless you can really explain where you're coming from, because it can be a bit of a shock. Well, who is this person? Never set a boundary with me before. It's been okay up until now. You've never had a problem with it before. What's the problem? So it's starting off on the right foot, and because you're such an open-hearted guy, like, you need to know yourself better and how to communicate. Look, I'm not telling you to go away and leave my life, but this is how I like to.
It doesn't have to be either or kind of scenario. Right. What you're talking about is communication is the key. Yeah. I mean, last question on this, and I'll get back to the soul awakening stuff, is that baggage, right? Relationships have baggage. You know, people have baggage, male or female, whatever, in a relationship. How do you deal with baggage?
Well, that's a big question. I don't know. It's the honest answer. I think it comes down to... I was hoping for some
insight.
It comes down to integrity and trust, I think.
Really?
I think so. And obviously the level that other person really wants to commit to you. So I guess it's three things. Commitment. How deep can the person you're with go with you? How much are they willing to tread into your world and accept that side of you? Commitment, trust, and integrity. But those things don't just come straight away when you meet someone. They're definitely built over time by not just words, by actions. So, you know, my experience, men can say a lot of things, right?
You mean men can naturally lie?
Men are great poets, you know, they'll say
I got the words for you.
Most amazing things
I got the words for you, Anne-Marie.
But when it comes to actually following through, when they don't do that, then there's a loss of trust, there's a lack of integrity, and the commitment levels start to dip.
Yeah.
So it's really important to be able to follow through on what you say. So don't say big flowery things and not follow through, because you may not see it as the person delivering, saying all the things, but that other person is receiving it as, I can't trust this person, there's a lack of integrity, and I don't know if it's safe to commit.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, because I'm going to have to defend man before I move on, is that when I talk about baggage, I usually use the visual description of like a dot in an empty house, right? And then the partner comes in with baggage, like a big circle, and then that baggage is like filling up the house till the dot is pressed against the wall. Now, what that baggage is the past. So women have a past. Mm-hmm. They've been hurt. They've been pain. Now, the point about it is men have past too. They've been hurt and their pain, but we always seem to focus on the female pain because I've been wronged. He cheated. He did this. He did that. So that's what I'm trying to say. How do we reduce the baggage so that way we could coexist, both of us, in the same space?
Well, I mean, that comes down to when you first meet a person, you investigate the shit out of them. And I don't mean in a weird way. And I don't mean in a...
Let's get the cops in on it. All right, Nancy, where were you 2002?
You do your due diligence.
Yeah.
You spend time getting to know the person, asking questions, seeing the emotional reactions.
Yeah.
Figuring out where they are in their life, like how much of their past is really influencing them as a person, because that's who you're with, an unhealed, broken person who hasn't done the work and maybe entering a relationship that they feel is going to fix them. Yeah. Well, that's just can potentially be a recipe for disaster, maybe not always. But you really do need to get to know someone, and that takes time. And listening to what's not being said as much as what is being said. Noticing actions. Are they stepping up? Are they following through on their word? What are their little emotional habits? A year from now, is this still going to be okay? Yeah.
Now you might say, well, why are you like going down this road? And so basically this brings us to the Soul Awakening Academy, because it's more than life coaching, isn't it? It's kind of like you're like training people to do one-to-one, to have this kind of empathic sensibility with their clientele. So let you speak What are you training your
it did start off
coaches to
with
do?
training people to be life coaches, but it's expanded now since the internet came about, and now we have so many different courses on things. But it's all about holistic wellness and health and mindset, and we train practitioners to use the skills and techniques in their business or set up a business. But the Soul Awakening Academy and coaching in itself was born, really, it links to relationships and stuff we were talking about before. Yeah. It was linked to my own level of childhood experiences and adverse childhood experiences and, trauma, really. And, came to a point where I went through bad postnatal depression and realised that I had a choice. I can pass on my trauma to my son, which, can happen and really does happen, that generational trauma, or I can heal what's broken. And that's thankfully what I decided to do. But it took years. It took me, 6 years to really get to that point where I felt like, oh my God, I feel more complete now. And I just eventually figured out that I actually want to help other people. And because I'd been through the care system, I thought I want to work with kids who feel that they're broken.
Wow.
And they don't think they can ever be anything other than what life's dealt them. I didn't know anything about coaching. I wasn't really aware. So I thought, maybe I'll be a careers coach. Anyway, I just went on this little journey of self-study and whatever, and not self-study, but proper studies, and spirituality was a big thing. And eventually I did one-to-one coaching clients, hypnotherapy, NLP, all the different things. But before that, I actually had a clinic. It was like a wellness clinic. And I got into seeing people have physical symptoms. But when you got to the bottom of it, it was actually emotional. So that piqued my interest to think, what's happening in their brain is actually affecting their body and their health. Yeah. And then it just snowballed, went on different paths, naturopathy, different...
Are you working with children now, or...?
No. No. I did want to get into making a program, because I don't know if you know this, and it's ridiculous, but you can work in a care home with absolutely no experience of working. Yeah. And
unfortunately, I didn't know that.
It's insane. And the mentorship or lack of mentorship that person can deliver to that child, because I had good experiences and not so good experiences. The age normally when kids are in care, they are so desperate for a mentor. Yeah. And someone in their life that gives them some guidance. And if you've, no disrespect, but if you've got a 19-year-old kid who decides to work there one day, who's got no emotional awareness around the impact or the positive effect they can have, or negative on the kid, I just find it insane. And the system is completely broken. Anyway, so I wanted to create a program that the staff would go through to understand positive psychology, life coaching, how they can have different types of conversations with kids, because they are in a bit of a position of power and it can go...
Oh, no, this is definitely true. I mean, because most schools have what they call the pastoral system and everything like that. And that's supposed to be their way of looking into the sensitivity of kids, or how it is working with them and all that. But, the system kind of broken in that way and everything. But, but at least with your program, it's been successful. I mean, it's been around for 8 years now. And now it wasn't just the pandemic that made you go online, because you were going to go online anyway. Yeah. But now you're global. Yeah. And everything like that. So, I mean, tell me about the feeling of that expansion.
It's amazing. I mean, I never ever thought don't think we all really understood the full impact that the internet would have. So where I was just training people locally and they were getting the train up, from Birmingham or whatever, and having to stay in hotels to do the training course once a week for a good while.
Yeah.
That is just, the reach now, we sell courses to people all over the world. So, yeah, it's amazing. And that's what the internet can do for us.
Yeah, because you're doing trainings on Zoom and, but you also said you have a new therapy kind of thing coming up. What is that?
Yeah, so it's a new technique. It's called Somatic Memory Repatterning Technique, or SMART for short.
SMART for short, but I'm not smart enough to know what you meant. But what is it?
Well, what it does is it finds a root cause memory that's causing a real emotional imprint in you, and it's the emotion.
Kind of like a cellular memory.
Probably a memory that you've even forgotten. Let's say as a kid something happened, you've forgotten, you don't think it's impacting you as an adult, but as an adult you're having relationship problems, you've got confidence issues, you've even got fears and phobias or addictions or chronic pain like fibro. And what it does is it locates from the subconscious mind, which is like your big deep memory bank, stores all the memories and experiences you had. You can't consciously remember them all, but it's all stored. And it locates that memory. And we use the body as a vehicle to release the trauma. So if you think about animals in the wild, they get chased, they nearly get killed, and they shake off all the adrenaline, and they go about the business. It doesn't affect them. They're not jumping at the next breaking branch. You know what I mean? They just crack on because they've shook it all out. And emotions are molecules. They're kind of neuropeptides. I always get that wrong, but they're like neurochemical messengers in the body.
That's what I'm saying about the cellular memory, though.
Yeah, they're hormones. So, but without an outlet, they stay in the body.
Yes.
They hide under tissue, fibro joints.
That's right.
Fibrous tissue joints, all of that cause problems. But they also key on an automatic trauma loop, unbeknown to you. So anyway, this SMART technique, it gets the memory. There's a special method that is used, and the memory and the emotion dissipates, either completely goes or fades to a point where you're like, why was I bothered about that? So we've had people fear of heights, walk over bridges that they've never been able to walk on, like just overcome so many things. People with fibro, chronic pain, can't sleeping. It's really effective.
Do you do this through breathing techniques? I mean, you must have to do this in person.
We do it through movement. We do it through locating the memory, and then we do it through movement, and then this repatterning technique. It takes about 40 minutes. And then people's symptoms are pretty much it's been like 99% successful. But people's symptoms are either really dramatically reduced or they are just gone. Yeah. So there's no years of talking therapy or anything like that. Just gets the problem, it repatterns it, and then there's no emotion. And it's the emotion that prevents you from doing the thing you want to do, because you just have this fear in your body. So that's
But
really
you do
amazing.
it in person?
I can do it on Zoom.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Do it on Zoom.
But so this is something that is new for you guys, and I mean, have you already launched doing it?
We've launched it, yeah. We've case studied it, and I trained some practitioners in it. They're getting great results, case studies, and yeah, it's really good. So I've got another training in June.
In June. See, this is what I was trying to get to there, Anne-Marie. Like, what's coming up?
Okay.
All right. So you have a SMART training coming up in June.
Yeah.
Wow,
was that so difficult? What it is?
You know, I got my man Roy I got my man Roy behind the desk trying to count me out and everything like that, and I'm trying to get her to say it. So how can we find you? How can people who are interested in Soul Awakening as well as SMART? Yeah. How can we find you online? This is how you sell yourself. Go for it.
So people can find me at soulawakeningacademy.co.uk, or if they're interested in SMART, if you put somatic memory repatterning technique.
I won't, so I could put SMART.
Or you could just put SMRT I might
Make that happen, man, Marie. I'm going to go
might.
thematic.
I may appear if you put SMRT in.
Okay. And so if you put SMR Smart on what?
Google.
Mm-hmm. All right, and everything. So Solar Awakening Academy. This has been a really interesting conversation there, Marie. Everything. It's really great catching up with you and stuff, and also hearing about what you're going through. I always like to think that like when you have met somebody in the past, and then you meet them in the present, and they're still doing what they're doing, or they're even doing further. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, like you guys, we were kind of similar starting out.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, we were like. We weren't in the cold box then, but we were just like in a little whatever we were. And everything, but going from strength to strength.
Yeah, exactly. We've both really gone, which is amazing. Yeah.
And you're amazing, and I'm thank you for coming here in the studio. This has been Anne-Marie Mayers for the Soul Awakening Academy. I'm Chase Johnson Lynch, and you know what? For now, we out of here.